Señoras y señores, bienvenidos al close-up de Calabozos y Dragones. Estamos con el director. How are you, Jonathan?
I'm good, thank you.
Hello, guys.
Hi. Hey.
How are you?
Good, how are you? On your knees.
Okay, chop it off.
Chop it off, let's do it.
Dude, you're dressed for the campaign. I love it.
Yes.
This is amazing.
This is special for you guys.
I think it's fantastic.
What's out of here?
What a challenge!
Yes.
This is like something that a lot of people loves, and a lot of people could be hurt if you do it in the bad way.
Yeah. Why did we take on this crazy?
Which was this challenge?
The challenge was, like you said, it was how to make a movie that would please the fans who love the game and have loved it for 50 years, but also how to make it work for people who don't know the first thing about D&D and don't care, you know? And so that's really the target we were aiming for. And you can't satisfy all the fans. There are always going to be some who don't like the way you're approaching it, but we felt that with Spider-Man Homecoming as well when we did that. You know, you just have to make the movie that you believe is the best representation of that thing, whatever it is, and that's what we did.
Aren't you sick of failing? We could die.
There's worse things than dying.
It's an amazing adventure that you are starting. When you decide to do a movie, do you think in the amount of time that you have to spend into the project? Because this could be a saga, and this could be a thing that goes for years.
You know, I think it's such a crapshoot. It's so difficult making films and making films that are appeal to people, and it's a hard game. So, at least for my experience is you have to look at the script in front of you, and this was a really, really great script with a great world and interesting characters and a good heart to it. And it was something that, at least for the 4 months that we spent making, it was something that I was really into doing.
I like a franchise. Some of them I've done, I think maybe went on too far. I think Sense and Sensibility 6 was one too many.
Too much.
Yeah. And I think the public felt that as well. Yeah.
Oh, we got him now!
Very excited about the movie because it's very entertaining, very funny. Everything happens in this movie. It was a roller coaster.
Yes.
How was your experience? You are in the whole movie doing a lot of fun stuff.
I'm in bits and pieces of the movie. I mean,
yes.
Some of it I'm not actually there. I'm an animal, but it was a lot of fun. Getting to I feel like I love the set so much. I'm a big fan of set design and everything. So getting to be there and getting to be in these so we shot in Northern Ireland, which has all of these old castles and ruins and these are just amazing locations, and getting to just be there, it felt like you were in a fantasy world without even the added, CGI to it. It was amazing.
We're gonna pull this off.
We're gonna need a team.
You need cool air.
Follow me to the orifice.
One thing that I love is the mix, the combination with practical effects, characters that are on the set, and with CGI creatures. How was that experience? Because sometimes you just have to imagine things, and now you have the things in front of you. Why did you decide?
We did that because a lot of our influences in making this came from the movies of the 80s and 90s that we loved, whether it was Never-Ending Story or Princess Bride or Indiana Jones, The Goonies. There's just so many fun, tangible creatures and things in those movies, and we wanted to not just rely on blue screen and digital effects. Obviously, we have a ton of those, but I think it makes a difference. I think the audience can feel that difference. The actors perform a little differently when there's something really there with them. The animatronic technology is so advanced now. We had this Dragonborn, it's the guy with the dragon head, and just off camera is a guy who's making the facial motions and stuff with a motion capture camera on him, and then the servos in the mask do what he does. It's really wild.
Yeah, it's great to be able to work off of real things. I think for me, I've been acting opposite green screen for so long that I can it's not that big of a deal. I think what's most important is for the audience watching it, it's a different experience watching something that's not completely created by a computer. So whether it's the scene where I'm, you know, asking questions of these skeletons that are actual animatronic skeletons created by this wonderful creative team legacy. It makes it feel nostalgic and old school, even though it's, but also new because we haven't seen those effects, those practical effects in a long time.
No, that wasn't for you. Did that count as a question?
Yes.
Damn it. Only answer when I talk to you, okay?
Yes.
Your character is the best.
She's the
thank
coolest,
you.
right?
Yes,
She's
of
the
course.
best character.
I don't know if every transformation that you made, you just go out of the set, or you have to make some motion capture thing. I don't know.
No motion capture for me. That was mostly the CGI people. So no, yeah, it was a lot of fun, kind of, you know, doing my whole thing and making a movement to look like I'm an animal, and then I leave.
Yeah, I think the animators did an incredible job though of capturing Sophia, you know, and capturing her character. Because when I watch the owlbear, like I really feel like it's still her, you know, and I think part of it's the eyes. We really tried to make the eyes the same.
The eyes were me.
Yeah, the eyes were you.
Eye acting.
Yeah, and so we tried to like keep that continuity.
Yeah.
But it's really cool, isn't it? It's really fun how it comes together.
How was this process of post-production? Because there's a lot of sci-fi effects and...
Yeah, it was a very long post-production process just to get it right, you know, and to get the cut right, and then to get all the visual effects right. It was a ton of work, but we had people working all over the world. We had people working in India, in California, in Canada, in England, like people working all over the world on the visual effects, and they really brought it to life. But Sophia's right, so much of it was there on the set.
Yes.
You know, we built practical stuff. We built like real dragonborns. We built real tabaxi, real
Even
real
the
Aarakocra.
characters.
Yeah.
The guys with the animal face.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah.
And so all that real stuff was there for the actors, which I think helped make it fun.
Very much, yeah. It was amazing. I mean, getting to like actually see these creatures right in front of you helps the actor a lot. It almost makes you, I feel like what really added to the movie is that to have that mix of both CGI and practical makes the audience almost feel like they don't quite know which is real and which isn't, which is what you want in this sort of movie. And I feel like in other action films, I'm not saying anything bad about them, they're amazing, they're great, but a lot of it's CGI, and the audience knows going into it, oh, it's CGI, so it almost makes it separates them from the story a bit, because they know nothing here is real, and what's happening in front of you is just all these, you know, flashing, you know, lights and explosions, and like, oh, okay, I get it. But then actually seeing this movie, which is supposed to be like a different fantasy world, and having these moments where you see like a physical, like a different, like the Aarakocra and everything, and you see these actually really fully built creatures. And then you watch it and you're like, well, then if that's real, what else is real, you know, and what isn't? And you start to almost get into this world of magic.
Yeah, kind of blur the line between the reality and fantasy.
Right.
Which I think is really effective. And I think it makes for a good experience as an audience, you know?
The orifice?
I'll go last.
I think the fact that a lot of the monsters, creatures, dragons are actually real, animatronic, and not CGI is part of the whole philosophy of this film, which is bringing something analog, something human back to big-scale Hollywood adventure films in the model of, you know, Princess Bride or something like that. I don't do very well watching Marvel films or something like that. I know they're very popular, but I feel slightly alienated by all the technology. In this one, I feel that audiences feel a warmth. It's like vinyl, as opposed to...
But we helped the wrong person steal the wrong thing and unleash the greatest evil the world has ever known.
And you built a very nice chemistry, family chemistry between all the cast. You're like a family, right? A dysfunctional and funny family. How was that process to...
well, everyone was super sweet, so it wasn't that hard.
It kind of started we had a big game of D&D when the game started, when the movie started. And from my perspective, watching all of them kind of show up together and start like bouncing off each other even before we started rolling the cameras, and you see all these friendships starting to form, it was really special. Normally I've made a lot of ensemble movies, and it's hard to get the whole cast to gel like that, And I think D&D is unique in that regard, because it really is about a family coming together every time you play a campaign, and they just all like kind of came together, and it was really fun to watch. Like I felt like they were all just like had chemistry from the outset.
I don't mind that. He missed.
It's not any one story. You sort of create the game as you go. The job of the Dungeon Master is to create it and create the challenges that the players face. And so we saw ourselves as the Dungeon Masters of the movie, where we really had to create the world and then put our characters in it and let them play in that world. And so it has a lot of the spirit of playing the game. It's fun and funny. You're laughing, but then there's emotional moments, so there's a lot going on.
And I think in the first part of your career, you always were the good guy, and now you have to be the antagonist, the villain. How did you feel with this situation?
Well, actually, I started my whole life as an actor doing a lot of bad guys.
Yeah.
Then, because of 4 Weddings and a Funeral, I did nothing but charming, hesitant Englishmen for about 30 years. And then when I got too ugly for that, now I'm back to being villains, and they are more fun. Any actor will tell you that.
Red wizards created an army of the undead.
The characters, the words, the places.
Yeah.
You put a lot of things that people love from the original game to this adaptation.
Yeah.
Which was your favorite character? Your favorite place to create?
I love the Zank character that Regé-Jean Page plays. My partner and I are always drawn to the guy who has no sense of humor. That is always funny to us.
Yeah.
It was the same as a character we had in our last movie, Game Night, similar thing.
Mm-hmm.
And Regé just brought such a hilarious seriousness to it. He never makes a joke. He never winks at the camera. I love that.
It's lovely.
Quite the opposite.
I know I was being ironic.
I find irony is a blade that cuts he who wields it most especially.
You're not a lot of fun, are you?
The election of the casting, it's a right thing, right? It's a very important thing because you have all the ages, all the kind of people that can watch this movie or play this game. How did you pick up?
When you're putting together an ensemble cast like this, there's a real sort of alchemy to it, trying to figure out who's going to go with whom. What we liked about our cast, among other things, is that they are so different. Cris and Michelle Rodriguez, they're such different people, and you wouldn't think that they would gel together, but they really do. And that's kind of what it is when you're playing D&D. There's different people bringing, their characters to life, their avatars, and they're very different, but they have to work together. And it worked. I mean, Hugh Grant, like who would think you'd get Hugh Grant to do a Dungeons and Dragons movie, but there he is.
Being in the opposite side of this kind of actor, a legend, how did you feel with this
I've never seen any of his films, but people have told me that they were pretty good, and I don't know. I mean,
It's not true. He watches Notting Hill every Thursday. Every Thursday.
Notting Hill Thursdays, yeah.
Yeah.
You outed me.
Yeah.
You got me.
They all dress up as the characters.
Yeah. And then we put on Sense and Sensibility 6, and, which is a great film.
Yes.
I loved working with Hugh. He reminds me a lot of myself. We get on famously, talk about tennis, cars.
We're almost the same person we
are.
discovered.
Yeah.
Separated by about 20 years.
By the Atlantic Ocean and large continent.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
It's everything that ever mattered to me. And if we quit now, that's for nothing.
I don't want to see you die, which is why I'm going to leave the room.
Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.